St. John's wort, this majestic yellow flower that bursts forward and just brightens your day. It has 5 petals on it and this little plume in the middle that just bursts forward. It's an herb that helps with nerve endings and a natural antidepressant to help raise serotonin levels in the body, well known for that, and to proliferate healing also, and to help cleanse mucus out of the body. It is native to Europe and Western Asia and Northern Africa, but it is cultivated everywhere and very aggressive in rangelands that have dry summers. It just fills it up with beautiful, beautiful flowers. You can use the whole plant, the tops, the flowers, and the leaves. You don't really usually want to use the stems, and in some cases they use the roots. The history of this plant goes clear back to Hippocrates and the Greek physicians, where they used it for wounds and as a diuretic, and also for menstrual issues and for helping to settle the nerves and strengthen and heal the nerves. In about 1090, it was named after St. John the Baptist. It was used as a healing balm during the Crusades because it proliferates rapid healing in the body. It was used in the Middle Ages in about the 16th century for wounds and bruises, and it was called the arnica for nerves. Now, arnica is a plant that is well known not to ingest, but it's used topically. You can use it topically or in a homeopathic remedy that helps with discomfort, and this is considered the arnica for nerves. That's a pretty big compliment. It was also used to cast out demons. I think maybe, how do we interpret that? But emotional disorders or emotional imbalances in the body. In the 1800s, it was used as a nervine, as symptoms associated with depression, anxiety, hysteria, insomnia. It was known as a pulmonary herb and also given for jaundice and even diarrhea. It was used for dysentery, for bleeding, for expelling worms, for supporting bladder health, and for even bedwetting. It does work well for that also. It is used for wounds. That's why it was called St. John's wort, because for the healing and administrative properties of this plant for sores, cuts, bruises, and even skin ulcers. The Native Americans used it as a food, and it would bring on a calming effect in the body. The Cherokee Indians used it for bloody diarrhea and intestinal complaints, for fevers, and even suppressed menstruation. It was used for nosebleeds and venereal sores and even snake bites. There are other Native Americans that used it for coughs and for fevers and for even infertility. Now, the American eclectic physicians that mostly used herbs made it very, very popular, and they noticed that it helped to repair and heal nerve damage and helped with bruises and sprains and as a diuretic and even a natural astringent. They even commented on it as being something used with hysteria and even as a mild sedative. In the 1900s, it continued to be used for depression and things like that, and depression symptoms. It is used in England. There's an estimated 2 million people in England that take it on a daily basis, and even more than that, prescriptions being written more than any other antidepressants in Germany and some of the other countries. There's some cautions associated with that, but it's definitely there, and this plant is there and available to us. It has lots of nutrients, vitamin A, vitamin C. It's got a component in it called hypericin, and they think that it is the component that helps with the anti-depression type effect, and they're always trying to standardize this herb, so it has this 3% hypericin, and I don't really love doing standardized of any herbs, especially this herb. When you standardize a herb, they will take the herb and they will test it to see how much the component is, the hypericin is in it. For instance, just the active ingredient. Well, the whole plant's full of active ingredients. How are you going to test for one thing? And so they take the hypericin out and they try to use that for antidepressant, but that doesn't really work by itself, but they still think that's the main component. So standardized St. John's wort has hypericin added to it to stimulate really crappy St. John's wort in the beginning. It's really a mess of how it is. So the best way is to grow your own or get from a supplier that supplies really great herbs that you can trust that really don't have standardized herbs. You want to be able to have what nature brings forth in the soil from a good reputable natural grower or grow it yourself. It's just going along with nature rather than trying to fix nature. This plant has lots of tannins in it and lots of alkaloids. Interestingly enough, St. John's wort has been studied a lot for its antiviral properties and for its antibiotic properties, antidepressant properties. It's just been studied a lot recently because it demands attention. And so sometimes when we study an herb a lot, we want to take it apart and take the component out of it when it's really the whole herb that needs to be really embraced. It works wonders on nerves, can help the body to restore that type of nerve damage that happens sometimes in life, and it can calm things down in the body, that the nerves down, settle things down so things aren't so irritating or upsetting to the body. It is because it has that mild sedative effect to it. St. John's wort is known to help the body to restore damaged nerve endings and tissue, and it calms down injured tissues. It has that mild sedative effect externally and internally. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence that it could be helpful for people who have symptoms associated with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and nerve discomfort, and any kind of injuries or bruises or sprains, even athletic injuries that have happened, even old athletic injuries or current ones like pulled muscles or ligaments. It can help settle down burns, well known for that, and any type of trauma. It's been used externally and internally to help with back discomfort and even sciatica issues. It can help the body settle down some type of neuropathy symptoms and even help with rheumatism symptoms. You know, we talked a little bit about its antidepressant type activities, or just it's the happiness herb, is what it's considered. It can help you if you have poor stress tolerance. I mean, it's hard to sometimes remove all the stress and all the things, but it can help settle things down and get you kind of in a meditative mood where little things don't bother you quite as much. It can help the body settle down anxiety symptoms, nervous tension, irritability, lack of energy, and even help with sleep irregularities and help you get into that deep sleep. It also assists people with poor appetite, or even if people who have things like seasonal disorders that when the sun comes up and goes down, and they've known to help with that. It can help with mental burnout and just being mentally exhausted. There's studies showing it being safe and effective and very few side effects compared to other medications, and some of the side effects that they say will happen, sometimes I question some of those cautions, but we'll kind of go over those later on. It can help the body with serotonin. And what is serotonin levels? When your serotonin levels are up, you feel happy and your immune system's up and you feel good and you're going, and it helps with that, and your weight goes away and you have mood lifting. I mean, it's just everything. Serotonin helps with the melatonin so you sleep better, and then the dopamine and you're happier, and I mean all of those different hormones in the body, but it supports all of those things. It is naturally an antimicrobial plant, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, anti-tumor. It can help symptoms associated with hepatitis and HIV and herpes, any type of infections or wounds or leg ulcers or even sores, septic sores or boils. Cellulitis, mixing it with golden seal and echinacea for cellulitis, come on, that is great. Great herbs where you start to see things change right away. It helps also to move through some of the mucus through the body and helps with the cleansing. That's how it kind of settles down the body and has the anti-inflammatory effect where it just relaxes things. Naturally relaxes the lungs, helps support the body in it because it's a natural expectorant and helps to nourish lungs and the bronchial tissues, helps support great and healthy bowel function, and helps proliferate new cell growth even for ulcers and help that to settle down, especially with golden seal and slippery elm. Those are really great ones that are used with the symptoms associated with ulcers and stomach aches, can help settle down colicky. Stomach issues and colicky babies can help with digestion, and remember, those that are having poor appetite, the elderly or young or weak, can help and increase with the blood flow, with cleansing, and helps with capillary fragility, where some of the studies showing where it's strengthening the heart and increasing blood flow to stressed, injured tissues. without overstressing the heart or overstressing those tissues. It can help with urine flow and toning and strengthening the urinary tract, help with too much urination to settle down that sensation of urinating, having to urinate all the time. It can help with congestion in the urinary tract and all kinds of disorders associated with the symptoms associated with the urinary tract. It can help women with toning their uterus and with cramping, even uncomfortable menstruation, even afterbirth pain and settling that down, and postpartum blues. Oh, it is great for postpartum blues, and along with herbs that help you balance your hormones, like lots of raspberry tea and black cohosh and some of those things, with the St. John's wort, can help you just get that happiness back and be able to be in baby land and not worry about everybody else and enjoy your baby. It can help with menopause irritability, and I remember this older lady was staying with us, and she was just really, really irritable, and I remember putting together a St. John's wort extract or tincture, and boy, she would not take it for the life of me. And she was just, I mean, this was like 20 years ago, and she was staying with us, but boy, it was hard to kind of be around her, and we just thought, gosh, should we just get her to take some St. John's wort? And I actually relabeled it in my kitchen and told her that it was for weight loss, and she took it, and things were much happier and much better. It was just amazing overturn. And then I started to take it and thinking, oh my gosh, this helps me so much. One of my favorite stories is when we went camping with one of my older brothers. He's amazing guy, and he's a get-her-done guy, but sometimes he's really intense, and when he plays hard and he works hard and everybody's not working as hard as him, he gets frustrated and stressed at camping, kind of like me sometimes. So he was coming camping with us, and I had this big orange igloo that we usually put water or like lemonade, and I was making this big thing of lemonade, and his teenage daughter came up behind me unbeknownst to me, and I had just opened a bottle of St. John's wort extract that I made, and I was dumping the whole 4 ounces in the big 5-gallon thing of lemonade, because my brother loves lemonade. And she goes, "What are you doing, Aunt Angela?" And I went, "Oh." I said, "Don't tell your dad we're making lemonade." He drank almost the whole thing. It was the very best camping trip we ever had. All of us were drinking it. It was the best. I highly recommend it for family reunions. With that being said, there are no really known serious adverse side effects other than just recently some interaction with prescriptions for depression and anxiety. They caution you with that, and they caution you with heart transplant and HIV, but nothing if you don't have anything outside in the medical world. There is a light sensitivity story that goes along with this herb. I don't know. I mean, they say that the cattle get light sensitive and get sunburned when they get into St. John's wort and eat too much of it. I think that might be true. I think that is true. I've never seen it in humans. I've seen gallons of this stuff. I've seen buckets of it. I've seen pounds of it used. I've seen capsules. I've seen it every different way. I've never seen one person be completely light sensitive unless someone told them ahead of time they were going to be light sensitive. And if they didn't know about that, nobody's had that issue, not even with sun tanning or anything. So it may be folklore, but it may be real, this light sensitivity. It didn't happen for me or those around me, and so I'm not sure that that really does happen, but it's something to definitely be aware of it. And now with all of these drugs and things that they're saying it interacts with, if you're under health care from a doctor and that's who you're working with, and you think something interacts, you need to check with them, especially St. John's wort is one. Definitely, you don't want it to be like helping support serotonin levels if you're taking some kind of medicine that's like trying to do the opposite or whatever. So just be aware of that particular thing. Just by itself, there's no cautions. With synthetic additions to your life, it might have some cautions associated with it. So how do you take this majestic firecracker of a plant that just bursts forward in this yellow flower, just saying, "Eat me, eat me"? You just eat it fresh, or you can crush the petals. You can use it a poultice on sores. You can use it powdered or in capsules. You can use it in extracts, our favorite way. Oils and infusions of oils and salves topically for helping proliferate healing. It is great with comfrey. It is great as an anti-aging oil, and really, really wonderful with holy basil, and of course with salves. Can't have too many herbal salves around that help proliferate healing and help with the owies of life. And this is definitely St. John's wort, one of those herbs that helps with the owies of life.